Hi Interchange, I'm Avis Mulhall and I'm your host on Interchange TV. Today I'm speaking with the wonderful Simon Griffiths. Welcome, hey. Simon. How are you going?
Good. Yeah, it's great to be here.
Wonderful. Thanks so much for your awesome keynote earlier. The feedback we've been getting has been really, really phenomenal so far. The students loved it. Today, I just kind of wanted to have a bit of a chat with you about some of the things that you covered in that talk so that people can kind of really touch back on that. Today is really all about the students learning about customers, personas, and lean, right? And you know, one of the things that you talked a lot about was how you implemented lean in the two startups that you did. To you, what does lean mean in setting up a business?
Yeah, I mean, we kind of think about lean as the idea of breaking everything down into its simplest form. So building, very simple prototypes that test core assumptions that are necessary to our business being successful, and then launching them quickly, iterating constantly based on the feedback that we get once we've got that prototype in the market. It's a process that we go through time and time again on the same thing, just constantly iterating. Even when we've got something we're happy with, we're always looking at ways to improve it, and yeah, it's something that never ends.
And one of the things that I loved about what you said earlier was that don't wait till it's perfect. It's something that I've learned in life a lot, and not just in building businesses. I call myself a recovering perfectionist. How important is it that you just get it out there?
Yeah, totally. I think one of the tricky things about doing something new and launching something new is that, generally speaking, the final 20% to get it to perfect, to where you want it to be, that's what takes the most time and the most money. That's where 80% of the effort and 80% of the money really lies. So there's a rule that once it's 80% ready, you ship it, you get it out there, see what happens, because you're accepting that it's probably not going to be what you expect anyway. And really, you're just trying to get to that point where you can see how other people interact with it, so you understand what's working well, what's not working, and then how you can make improvements to eventually be successful.
Yeah, I think one of my co-founders of an early business of mine, he said that if you're not embarrassed by your first kind of product, then you're probably waited too long to launch.
It's true. It's a good way of thinking about it.
Yeah, exactly. So you did talk a lot about mistakes and failure as well, and I think that's very much part of the lean method. Can you talk to us a little bit about, how important you think embracing failure is?
Yeah, I mean, embracing failure is just crucial. We kind of get taught at university and school that failure is this kind of negative experience that should be avoided at all costs. But when you're trying to create something new and innovative, or a new product or whatever it is, you're inevitably going to fail. 90% of new innovations fail the first time around. So you have to accept that failure is just a part of the overall experience, and you're not just going to work towards something and fail and that's the end of it. You're going to fail quickly and cheaply, and then continue iterating, changing it, improving it, trying to get closer to the point where it will eventually be successful. So embracing failure and thinking of it not as a negative, but instead as a positive is really part of the journey. Yeah,
Claudia, who'll be talking later on Interchange TV, she calls it failing forward.
Yeah, totally.
So as long as you're not failing backwards, well, you might do that too, but hey, who knows?
Yeah, I mean, and the most important thing is you're not failing and just letting it rest there and leaving it. It's actually about taking to that next step where you learn from that and then move forward.
It's just another word for learning, really. We've just got a negative connotation to it.
Yeah, totally.
And another one of the themes for today and for the whole course is really that we're really giving them the core principles of human-centered design. And I think you mentioned earlier in your keynote that one of the things that you should have done more of on one of your products was maybe interviewing the people that were going to be buying your product in the end. Like, now that you've kind of learned from that, how important do you think it is to just get out there and start speaking to potential customers?
Oh, it's crucial. Your potential customers will tell you so much more about your product than what you can imagine yourself. And if you kind of just act on what you think people will want, inevitably you'll miss a whole bunch of different bits and pieces that could be the key to eventually being successful. So getting out there and talking to your customers is really crucial. And yes, do it before you launch, but also do it once they've physically got the product in their hands, so you can understand what is and isn't working well. So yeah.
Awesome. So the guys today are going to be populating their business model canvases, and over the next week they're going to go out and test their assumptions as well. So that's really good advice. Just one last thing. So Interchange is really about teaching you guys how to solve big problems using human-centered design. As somebody who's kind of gone through that process a few times, you know that it's a bit of an uncomfortable process. What advice would you have to anybody who's kind of leaving university and kind of wanting to do something really awesome?
Oh, I think one of the most interesting parts of that process is that that uncomfortable part, and you have to get really comfortable with being uncomfortable. So you sort of have to break things down until they're an absolute mess, and then where you're really uncomfortable and you don't know what the solution is, and then start putting it together and testing things until you eventually get that comfort back. And for a lot of people, that's something that they're just not used to doing, but it's a really crucial part of being successful eventually.
Yeah, because I think a lot of the time when you're in uni, everything is ordered and it's neat, but innovation is really messy. So yeah, embrace the messiness of it all. But thanks so much for coming along to speak today, and thanks for being here on Interchange TV. Thanks Simon Griffiths. Thank you guys, and I'll see you next time. Take care. Bye.